Hey Cappy friends, welcome to your reading for love. Now, before I get into your reading, I want to just explain something miraculous that happened to me earlier this week. I was on course, I was on schedule to do a bunch of eclipse readings, and I received a very strong download from the Lemurian clan, which I've never connected to before, so it was meant to be. So I went with it and I recorded the reading, which is up on the channel if you want to connect with it. Very powerful messages, upgrades, the effects of light. It was really powerful. And they also guided me to not conduct eclipse readings, but to instead just use oracle cards, don't use tarot, and focus on love. Do love readings because collectively we are really connecting to a love frequency. The energy is abound. And of course, we know that there are many different ways to express and receive love in this life. It's not just about romantic love, but it is also about self-love, unity consciousness, and our love for other people, the planet, the animals, all beings. There are many different ways to experience love. There's spiritual love, love from the higher self, love from ancestors, familial love. So generally, though, it is all on the love frequency, which comes back to our worth, our feelings of safety, of belonging, and our ability to receive. I was feeling intuitively that you want a little more fire, because right before I started recording, it was like, no, Capricorn wants lots of candles. So maybe this is romance. Maybe it is romance. Maybe it's about lighting candles, really setting the mood. But I think there's a spark. I think it's more about the spark, the fiery eclipse coming up on April 8th. That's going to be a big window opening for many of us. There's a new path, or there's some kind of recalibration that shifts us and puts us on our destiny path. And this affects the way we give and receive love. It affects the way we see the world. It changes as well the types of energies that are coming toward us. So there's quite a lot of change. And then in April, a bit later, Jupiter will be conjuncting Uranus. So there's quite a palpable energy in the sky that feels miraculous. It feels sudden. It feels powerful. It feels like great change is coming. But we all know with thunderstorms, first there's a pressure buildup. So something's building and building and building, and it gets closer and closer and closer, and then boom. So let's see a healing message for Capricorn. Love. Looking at healing for Capricorn. Oh goodness, environmental awareness. Okay, so interesting. You are very much connected to the plants and the animals around you, the environment. Now, environmental awareness is also the work environment. It is the places in which we find ourselves and how the people, the energy of the space creates the environment. I think this is also looking back at your familial foundation, where you grew up, how you grew up, the types of love relationships that you witnessed, because this is how you learned to define love. It's where you learned how to mimic what love is. And so a lot of you, I feel that this goes beyond being out of doors or having a love for the planet. I want to get to that in a moment, but there's just a lot of profound shift happening within you that makes you feel stronger. You can move on from your past. You're not so much a victim or helpless to your conditioning. You are, perhaps through therapy or perhaps just through your spiritual journey, your investigations, you've come to realize, and through reflection, you've come to realize that your home environment affects, or it did affect, again, your perception of love and your ability to give and receive it. So there's a lot of awareness with the home environment and how that has shaped you. And then I feel that your environment changed, and it's also about, I'm hearing, who's watching or who is now watching you, who's learning about love from you. So some of you may be parents, and you're noticing, perhaps through being a parent, maybe the patterns, and you're very conscientious about creating a safe environment, a protective environment, a supportive one that is perhaps either the same, or maybe if you had a healthy upbringing, and maybe some of you are really making the effort to do something differently. But for those of you not interested in love, because I feel that there's a lot of people, specifically that watch my channel, it seems, that are not necessarily, it's more about the self and the journey and the careers, and a lot of you are very creative and interested kind of in marking your own path, or following your own path. A lot of you are very independent, maybe living more of a solitary life. So I think that's really interesting, because I'm so fascinated by that, and I think it's really powerful and brave and fulfilling. But anyway, there's something about this connection to the environment, to your earthly existence. So the plants and animals around you, wanting to do some work, make some effort, show love, in the sense that you're caring for, like adopting a new pet, maybe someone who, someone from a shelter who maybe had a difficult past. It just seems like you're really interested in being a healer at this time. You're helping to heal past wounds. And I think you've already done a lot of work on healing your wounds. You're very aware of them. And this awareness now is receiving an upgrade where you're able to extend that healing to others. And as we heal others, we continue to heal ourselves too. I'm feeling the emotions kind of come up as I say this, so I think this is really resonating with a lot of you. I think that work is really important. A lot of you take in strays, or you clean up garbage, or you plant wildflowers to attract pollinators. You're doing what you can in your little space, and that's what I'm specifically hearing, is your little space, your plot. Because it's amazing how much of a change or a difference you can make just by focusing on one little square footage at a time. So I think also with that, it's like, how does this square footage affect this bigger area? And then how does that affect the bigger area? So there is something very like calculated, I want to say, step by step for you, that is caring for the environment, or even doing environmental work, right? That's an act of love. I want to help, or I want to study the local biology. I want to look at the ecosystems. So there's something really beautifully, love is expressed through how you interact with and shape your environment. You're the builder, so you are the one who has power to build and to shape the environment. Capricorn, ceremony, invocation. Okay. So maybe you're doing some work around this eclipse, or you have recently done a ceremony. You've really this is effort. This is about being specific with your choices about what you represent, right? Like with me, with my candles and my shells, and there's a reason that I have these specific things here with me, these tools, these allies I'm hearing here with me during these readings. And that's exactly what ceremony is. It's about focused attention on a certain event or an intention, but everything is gathered for one purpose. So this shows an intent. It shows focus. It shows that you and your partner, I'm hearing, are really making effort to have more one-on-one time together. This is really just speaking to me about being very intentional with your specific plot. again, or your home, or your little corner of the world, you have so much power to express love and receive love in that space. Some of you, I don't know if the ceremony, some of you, maybe I'm hearing, are being initiated as a healer, as some kind of ally. Again, that word keeps coming up, ally, to environmental protection, to something. I'm hearing that you're being initiated as an ally. And this is a badge that you're going to wear as a reminder of your dedication. So there's a vow that you're making, or it feels like you're being sworn in. You want to be very aware too of where you choose to have this ceremony, because there's something specific about that spot. You don't just want to do it anywhere. It seems like you're very intentional with everything that you're doing. Capricorn. Capricorn. Okay, you've got 3. Catch your breath. The big picture, and open your heart. Look at these beautiful cards. Catch your breath. This is maybe why this message of your plot is coming up, because maybe the big picture feels overwhelming, but you're going to affect the big picture by taking care of what's in your corner. Taking care of, you don't have to address everything all at once. You do it step by step, bit by bit, very focused, make sure it's done thoroughly, and then once you're satisfied, you can move on to the next step, you can expand a little. So don't be intimidated by the scope of this work. Take some time. Maybe you have a little bit of extra free time. You've got a break or a trip coming up where you can catch your breath. You've got the luxury of time, it seems, or the luxury of a choice where you can really do some research, or just relax, even use the time to rest, relax before you recalibrate, before you take that next step. It's a good opportunity to just, you've got the opportunity to rest, so please do. And you see your place in the big picture. You're opening your heart to that big picture, and that helps you connect more profoundly to, again, your plot. I just think these cards are so, so pretty. Like, isn't that just beautiful? It's so inspiring, and I haven't used this deck in a few years. I used it a lot when I started my channel 5 years ago. And it just feels like coming home to an old friend, like opening up a lot. Maybe you feel more inspired now. You feel like you're ready for the next step because you're opening your heart. There's heart expansion. There's more love frequency. Look at that face under the swan as well. So it's like, and the way that the feathers are forming the hand, and there's an egg here that's been cracked open, holding the divinity of it all. Allow yourself to be held. Allow yourself to listen. Allow yourself to be supported. Maybe your heart's been closed off for a long time. Open your heart so you can listen to it. And what does it tell you? What does your heart want? What does your heart desire? Well, my friends, that's a beautiful reading. I hope that it has been helpful to you. There's some really, really nice things on the horizon for you. If you would like a personal reading with me, I would love to read your cards. My website is below. It's queenofpentacles.ca.